we're live on YouTube and there's there. So we have we're all set for quorum.
Wonderful. So hello and welcome everybody. Great to see you all. I guess let's just get to it. Although please give me a minute. Your agenda. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll start with the adoption of minutes. Is there a mover for the adoption of minutes? Moved by Heather, seconded by hopefully somebody by Miranda. Thank you very much. Oh wait, was Miranda present at that meeting? No,
But I think Larry might have had his hand up.
oh, did you, Larry? Wonderful. Okay, so we'll do Heather and Larry. Open for discussion if there are any revisions to the minutes. Heather?
Sorry, I just realized there was one. I forgot to mention it. The only one I had declared a conflict on was Living History Algoma, not Glen Oak Academy. It's possible I mixed up the numbers from the last agenda because they may not have been in the same order. So I apologize.
No worries. We'll make sure that's
I'll correct that. Thank you, Heather.
any other revisions? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor, please remain silent. Anybody abstaining or opposed, please open your mic to express your intent or do something else to get our attention. Seeing none, motion carries. Next, we have declaration of pecuniary interests. I know Heather, you wanted to declare for Living History Algoma. I was declaring for the Thinking Rock application. Miranda, you were declaring for Thinking Rock, and is there another one? Refresh my memory.
Yes, for the club.
For the club. Those are the ones at the top of my memory, although Donna, I think you were declaring in relation to all of the applications.
That is correct. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. And any other declarations? Seeing none, we'll move to the next item, which is, sorry, I'm projecting because I know sometimes there's an audio issue, but if I'm too shouty, just let me know. Adoption of agenda. So the next thing that we have is the adoption of the agenda. Today, what we will
You're frozen. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Larry. It's just the five of us, I think, at this moment.
Yeah, they're having trouble. It's not, and part of the audio problem is that they kind of sound underwater. It's not shouty or it's just kind of garbled or something.
I think I've got my volume up as high as it can go too. Oh, pretty much. Miranda, I think they made you the organizer too, so I think you're in charge now.
Well, let's just give everybody all the money they want and go home.
I think we're still live, Larry. We're meeting amongst ourselves.
Well, yeah, and if council doesn't agree, well, let them thrash it out. They can read these damn things. It's been so long since I read them. Thank God I made a few comments.
I've just gotten an email from the folks at, or sorry, a text from the folks at City Hall. So let me just follow up with them and then I can provide some advisement to everybody momentarily.
I can't stay late tonight.
Yeah, I know we were hoping to work through the meeting in a timely way so that we could get all of the adjudication finished tonight. So I do think that they are trying to rejoin. So we'll just give them a moment. Is there any kind of an outage, either a service outage or a power outage happening in the city right now?
My internet was a little cranky when I tried to log on. And I did get on, but I was afraid I wasn't going to.
It depends. They're downtown. I'm up here on the hill, and it seems to be fine. But I think we were supposed to have a storm with 90-kilometer
Yeah.
winds or something too, eh?
Well,
I don't know if it's noise. I don't know if it's windy out there right now.
I'm downtown at the water's edge too, and here they come. It's very windy down here.
Sorry about that, folks. We had, we actually have no idea what happened, but we lost our connection, obviously.
Well, we thought you weren't going to come back, so we just made motions. We're giving everybody all the money they want. We're going home.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Let council thrash it out.
The more the merrier, right? It just fixed itself. I have no idea how.
No, if everybody lost it.
Oh,
So I went down to the office, so security lost it. Are we back live?
we are. It looks like it. That's
Yeah,
okay.
hey, everybody.
So where we were at in the conversation was just a reminder that we set a 50% threshold for the scores, that below that applicants wouldn't be considered. There was also an affirmation that late applications wouldn't be considered. And then two applications that did that were incomplete were also removed from consideration. So that leaves us what we had done last time. Sorry. What we had done last time was essentially go through our agenda, beginning with the ones that had no declarations of pecuniary interest. So,
Donna, I'm just gonna assign you to a breakout room.
oh yeah, no worries. Thank you for doing that. Forgot. Oh, see.
I got the invite too. Do I just ignore it?
Oh, yeah, you should, sorry.
Okay.
I got one too, and I just said not now.
Sorry. I'm gonna restart that.
We just did close all rooms.
Sorry. Oh, my apologies.
No worries. I think we were all moving a little too fast and we're all experimenting here and everything. So gives us a minute to breathe a little bit.
Yeah, Donna's still on my screen.
Was it the move to? No, but it's sorry, I created a room and everybody got put in the room. And nobody should be in the room.
Oh, we're all in.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to.
Is the default one?
I think I might have went too quick and. Um, If everybody, do you have an option to move to main session on your screen?
I didn't hear that. Those at City Hall sometimes sound like you're underwater.
Did you say, was there an option to move to main meeting or
Yeah.
something like that?
Main session, so Heather, Jasmina, Larry, and Miranda, you should be able to move to the main session, and then just Donna stays in the breakout room.
How do you find main session?
I think that we are actually in the main session because the live streaming cannot happen in the breakout rooms.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty, well, I think we're okay then. I just have to move Donna.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, okay, I think we're okay now. We might have to go back. Okay.
Donna is still on my screen.
I have an option for Donna that says to hide non-video participants. Does that, oh,
She's got-
there she
she's
disappeared
gone.
off the screen.
Okay, I think we're good. All right, sorry about that.
No worries at all. Okay, so I think we were at, we discussed rap bingo. And we were moving on to the club. And we were going to come back to Living History Algoma, then Thinking Rock. And also I'll need a volunteer for chairing while Miranda and I are out of the room for the Thinking Rock application. So if anybody would like to volunteer for that,
You can try to.
awesome, thank you, Andrea. So following from last couple meetings procedure, what we do is we'll start with one individual who will lead the discussion. So we have first the club, second we have Living History Algoma, then we have Thinking Rock Community Arts. Is that all we have left to do?
Yes.
Wow, we are gonna just blow through this.
You need to move.
Sorry, what was that, Miranda?
You need to move me into the breakout room for the club, please.
Oh, right. Oh, we're doing all, yeah, actually. Well, sorry, we are at the ones, I forgot about the club. So yeah, we may as well actually start with Living History Algoma, because that's just in order. I forgot, I thought nobody was in conflict there, but.
I have a Zoom conflict. I think it's true.
Okay, so we'll start with Living History. We'll move Heather to the breakout room. And then I'll ask Miranda, since you're stepping out for the last two, why don't you begin our discussion of Living History Algoma, and then we'll rotate as we did before.
Sure. Thanks, Sean. Okay, so Living History Algoma has an ask for $3,500, which includes $2,900 small grant request and $600 operating request. And this covers the period from January to December 2023. As we've seen in past with them, this was a very well written and succinct application. I'm just trying to read my notes here on a tiny screen. So that this funding that they're requesting would support 2023 oral histories and virtual documentaries. They're concentrating in the Sioux for 2023, doing these living histories via a combination of in-person and Zoom sessions, aiming for 10 oral histories and then 5 COVID interviews around the city of Sault Ste. Marie. They're looking at bringing on board / they have on board volunteer interviewers with paid slots for video and film support. They're working on slating interviews for the web. I thought that this was a strong application. I think that the ask is really well grounded, and it seems like they'd be able to do quite a lot for the support. And I also appreciate the fact that they're building in opportunities and experiences for emerging professionals and artists to take part in their activities. You can see that it's building up a succession of folks to support such initiatives in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Miranda. Yasmina, do you have any additional comments on the application from the club? I see you shaking your head. No? Sorry. Oh my God. Living History Algoma.
I agree with Miranda. Yeah.
Andrea, any additional comments?
Yeah, I thought overall it was good. I'm just, yeah, my scoring was mostly aligned, maybe a little bit higher on organizational health and impact, but okay.
Larry, any comments?
I thought it was a strong application. I think it's a strong project, an important project. I thought their budgeting was done very well. They do have a fair amount in the bank, and they don't seem to be seeking funding from anyone else or any other source. I don't know if that means anything. I would have scored organization financial health a little higher had, but for those things. I gave it a score of 12, even though. I think it's an important record of cultural development and heritage in the Sioux, and I just by chance, this is an aside, I ran into Russ Elderly, and he was getting ready to interview David Johnson and his wife Sharon for this. So just as an idea, an example. Anyway, those are my comments.
Thank you, Larry. Now that everybody has weighed in, are there any desires to change any of your respective scores? Please indicate so now. It looks like not. So thank you very much. We'll continue with those scores. Next, we'll move on to discussing the club. So we'll bring Heather back. We'll say a temporary so long to Miranda. And we'll bring you back when we discuss the overall distribution. She's so wrong.
I know.
With the gas reflux.
I'm just gonna find the way of the reading. It should show up in participants, participants on top. Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh. There we go. All right, Heather's back.
Thanks, Heather. Sorry. I don't know about you guys. I'm feeling a little out of it today. Okay, so my apologies. Now we're going to start with our discussion of the club. Who would like to begin our discussion? Next person on the list would be Larry. Would you like to start us off?
Well, it's been so long since I read these, but so I'm just going to skim through the brief description.
No pressure, whatever you can.
It's a project for the LGBT, etc. community, positive spaces and arts-based programming, and within the community, and they plan to deliver 4 youth-based arts showcases for racialized, Indigenous, LGBTQ, etc., and allies at the club, including performance, visual arts, and literary arts. During their 4 events, collectively, they will contribute to a community art project that will offer the local queer and trans artists a space to have their art on display for the rest of the community and to engage with the community on that. They hope that this will be able to, that the LGBT community will, well, this is small, will use their art as a means of self-expression, self-exploration, self-love, ultimately contributing to greater wellness in the Sioux. And so on. It's, I thought that I thought this was an important statement of diversity and outreach for diversity, and that it deserves to be supported. I did have, I did notice, I had some questions about their financial statement. They have almost $30,000 in honoraria. That struck me as being a lot of honoraria, but I don't know if anybody else picked that up. I've just lost it again. And some other wage. No, I'm looking at a different one. I'm sorry. Anyway, I scored this. I've lost my place now. Sorry, my. Where did it go? Hang on here. I gave this an 11, and I think that's about it.
Thank
They're
you.
seeking $10,000, and they haven't received any other money from us. I don't know, maybe this is an initiative. I'm not sure how long the group has been in existence. I don't remember that. Oh yeah, and then they had contract services of almost $14,000 and bank charges of almost $4,200. That's $350 a month. I don't know what the heck they're doing with their bank. Anyway, there you go.
Thanks, Larry. That was a comprehensive overview. Thank you so much. Yasmina, are there any additions that you would make? Oh, she may have had to just step aside for a moment. We'll go to Heather. How about you? Any additions?
No, I took me a minute to find my scoring sheet. I thought the organizational and financial help was good. I had the artistic and the cultural merit, very good. It was very clear what they wanted to do and who the group they wanted to support and why. And the community impact, I also put down as good. It was a good application. I have nothing else to add to.
Great, thank you so much, Heather. Yeah, Andrea?
I think the only this issue I have with a few of them where they don't actually list the artists that they're bringing in as guest artists, and I mean, I would think that's an issue that we need to address by sort of asking for that explicitly, because when some organizations list who the guest artists or who the contracted artists they're going to go to, then they know how it's impacting the community, both for the people being served, but for the artists in the region getting paid. So you know, it just makes it hard to evaluate or just compare, but I think the overall impact of this is good and yeah, great to see that we're doing good and growing.
Thank you very much. Any desire to change any scores related to our discussion?
I don't know if my score there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, so this one has to-
All right, seeing none, we will move on to our third and final application for the evening, Thinking Rock Community Arts. I will step out of the room and hand the chair over to Andrea. And Miranda will still be out, and I will take the time to prep for the next. If somebody can just text me when you want
Yep.
that.
We'll go back.
Okay.
Thanks, maybe Heather or Yasmina, I don't remember which of you haven't started, but one of you want to start us off?
I'm just trying to organize myself here. Yasmina, do you want to go ahead? Is she there? Okay, I'll just start. I just have to remember what this application was. So I'm just flipping through it really quick. What my scores were. Okay, so I don't recall anything that on this application that stuck out as negative for me. I had scored their organizational and financial health as a 5. I thought it was excellent. I thought their artistic and cultural merit was very good. The same thing for community impact. So it was, I'm gonna go zoom in here. They're based out of Thessalon in the Algoma district, and they co-create art with and for the people living along the North Shore of Lake Huron, all the way from Serpent River First Nation to Sault Ste. Marie and all the points in between. They are a team of local artists, cultural workers, and community members of the Indigenous, newcomer, and settler descent who co-create spaces for dialogue, mutual understanding, and artful social change through multidisciplinary and multi-generational cross-cultural community arts and projects. So their project in here, hold on, was, I believe it was to support much of the activities that they've done in hybrid and in person since COVID, which is great, that they can reach more people that way. And they are looking for the community engaged programming, so be a Stitch in Time. And I'm sorry, I can't read, this is very tiny. Just zooming in here, which is an intergenerational mending project. There were the making nights, as well as in service of our stories, which is a research project in partnership with Nordic. I mean, I've just as someone who's seen some of their work like publicly as a resident, I think it reaches a lot of people within the community in different groups. I certainly think it's something that brings people together and the community together, and it's very positive and uplifting. So that was my review.
Thank you, Heather. Larry, Yasmina, anything you'd like to add?
Well, I thought it was a very strong application. They've got a good track record, and I gave them 4 in each category, so I scored 12.
Thanks, Larry. Yasmina, did you want to add anything?
I never give anybody 5 on anything. I just figure perfection is impossible.
No, I agree with what was said, and I think it's a very good application. And as Heather said, it's a very positive project for the community. So I agree.
Thank you, Yasmina. Yep, I agree as well, and I think, yeah, very nice to see that they're getting support from all funding levels too. So, what else do we do? Whether there's any interest in changing scores.
Not here.
No?
I mean, I think for myself, I feel like the community impact is low on that, but based on what I've witnessed. So, but I don't think.
Okay, if we're okay, I'm gonna get Miranda back in, grab Sean. Okay, Miranda is back, and we're just gonna grab Sean.
Little conference chair a little bit. All right, so overall, thank you everybody for participating in these discussions. If we look at the blue rows at the bottom of what you see on the screen, we have our recommended amount, which we have not completed. Then we have the total funding. So here you can see under F13, this is the total requested funding. We have a total request of $73,196 from eligible applicants. But if we look at G, this is based on the maximum amounts, based on different criteria for the different pots of funding. So the total maximum request is $67,844. Overall, we have 78,300 that can be dispersed in this session, which means that we have we could potentially fund every single request as much as it is requested. Though our guidelines, and then we carry forward any surplus. Our guidelines were that distribution of funding should reflect score values, however. So I guess my question is, are we planning to proceed with that? That we'll adjust, that we won't give everybody 100% of what was requested, but we will adjust in some fashion based on the proportion of the score. Is that, do we want to continue with that? Why don't we start the discussion? We'll go in reverse order. Andrea, and then I'll go down the list.
I mean, I think it makes sense to keep a minimum threshold so that that money can be, can then go forward to other groups in the next year or revised applications that are more effective. But I do see the potential to increase the funding, for the ones that have scored well, slightly if possible.
Larry, comments?
I am really having difficulty. I didn't hear most of what Miranda said. It was very garbled. But my thought is, if we've got the money and we can give it, let's go. Let's distribute it, because we're about to start another fiscal year. And
Sorry, I'm just gonna jump in, Larry. This is next fiscal year's funding. It's allocated January. So this will be part of the entire allocation for 2023.
Okay.
Only 25% is reserved for the next section. So this is the larger portion of the fundings that we will distribute. So anything you do not choose to spend based off of previous criteria does carry over to all those additional groups that may be applying in the March intake.
So we have another set of applications coming in 2023, don't we?
In March, which will be part of the same funding pot. Yes.
So maybe we should, I think we should give away half of it, and everybody should benefit or suffer proportionately according to their scores.
We'll just go through the list and we'll come back to you. Heather, comments?
If we've set in the last group, we set a threshold, I think we should stick to it, because in this case, we had 3 applications that we had to set aside, which if they had been eligible would have put us over. And this is just happens to be a case of where we're under in the other years where we've been over. So I think we should just stick to what we're doing. And if there is a surplus at the end, then it can carry over to those next applications because we don't know who's gonna be applying. It may be oversubscribed and we may need it. So that's my opinion.
Thanks, Heather. Yasmina?
I'm muted. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. Yeah, so yes, I agree with not giving everything and sticking to the same criteria as discussed or as established rather.
All
So,
right. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I thought you were.
no, that's fine.
Okay. Miranda?
Yep, I agree to follow our thresholds and establish procedures in this.
Great. Miranda, Andrea, you had a comment?
Yeah, I think just following exactly what we've been doing and the same formulas for determining the funding. But maybe, because I know we were adding like an additional reduction of 10% or something like that. Sometimes when we were trying to fit more in, so just keep the baseline funding percentage based on scoring.
Right. Okay. So what we should do is take a little intermission so that we're not just staring at Virginia while she does the calculations. So take this time, grab a cup of coffee. Let's take like a 5-minute break.
You want to their maths that we can do.
I'm just thinking, well, we're doing the percentage right there.
Yeah.
What I did here is,
You have the percentage.
what I would do is to like click on, the requested funding times and then in brackets, the total score divided by 15. And then that you can copy into the
Yeah.
words.
Okay,
You want me to do that?
sure, go ahead. I know, it's okay.
And I guarantee you, it'll work the same here. There we go. Okay. So I guess I said good 5 minutes and that was generous. And hopefully we're all back. So based on each applicant receiving the proportion of their maximum amount that they receive based on their scores, we get a total of $57,461, which works out to approximately half of the total allocation for this year. Are there any comments on what you see? Do you like this? Do you have concerns? You want to suggest any changes? So we'll do the same go around. Andrea?
No,
Andrea says she's happy with this. Larry?
Let me find it. I was doing something else. I didn't think our 5 minutes was quite up.
Sorry.
Go on and I'll come back to me.
No worries. Miranda, preferences?
None. I think it looks good.
Heather?
Yes.
Same. Yasmina, how about you?
What am I to say? What are we looking at? The numbers?
I'm sorry. Yes, we're looking at the numbers.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Okay. So you're happy with that? Larry, how about you?
That leaves us.
With another $20,839 to carry forward into next year on top of the allocation of around 25,000.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. All right, so then we have some motions to read.
Yeah, and just before we move on, is everybody okay if I round it to the nearest dollar either way, just for when I'm cutting the checks?
Yeah, round it up. Or round it down, it doesn't matter.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So I do have a series of motions. So based off of who has declared a conflict, then you wouldn't be voting. So the first motion are for the applications that have no conflicts of interest. It would be resolved that the Cultural Vitality Committee recommend to City Council the following grants for the 2023 Arts and Culture Assistance Program Early Intake as follows. Art Speaks Project, $10,988. The Drawing Club, $2,080. Or $2,079. Fringe North, $21,692. Handsome Sandwich, $1,699. Rap Bingo, $1,774 be approved.
Do we have a mover for the motion? Moved by Larry, seconded by Heather. All those in favor, please do nothing. Anybody abstaining or opposing, please indicate so in the chat or open your mic to express your intent. Also, my apologies to Heather and Yasmina. I wasn't monitoring the chat. I see your questions now. Sincere apologies.
Okay, the second resolution, Heather has declared a conflict for Living History Algoma. So would not be voting at this time. Resolved that the Cultural Vitality Committee recommend to City Council the following grant for the 2023 Arts and Culture Assistance Program Early Intake to Living History Algoma for $3,004 be approved.
Should I move Heather into a meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move you very quickly, Heather. All those in favor, please remain silent. Anybody abstaining or opposed, please indicate so in the chat or open your mic to express your intent. Oh, a mover and a seconder first. Whoopsie. Moved by Andrea, seconded by Miranda. Oh, what a day. All those in favor, please remain silent. Anybody abstaining or opposed, please indicate so in the chat or open your mic to express your intent. Seeing none, the motion carries. So we will go back and readmit Heather. And now we will move Miranda into a waiting room. And we have go for it. Yes.
Okay, resolved that the Cultural Vitality Committee recommend to City Council the following grant for the 2023 Arts and Culture Assistance Program Early Intake for the club in the amount of $8,167 be approved.
There are a mover and a seconder. Moved by Andrea, seconded by Larry. Thank you both very much. Any discussion? Anybody, all those in favor, please remain silent. Anybody abstaining or opposed, please indicate so in the chat or open your mic to express your intent. Seeing none, the motion carries. Thank you both very much. Now I will hand the chair over to Andrea and go sit in the conference chair in the hall.
Okay, so now which one we are resolving for Thinking Rock.
So,
And then you're moving.
yeah, so the motion for this one we read, same with the others, resolved that the Cultural Vitality Committee recommends to City Council the following grant for the 2023 Arts and Culture Assistance Program Early Intake for Thinking Rock in the amount of $8,057 be approved.
Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Heather?
Oh, okay, so
And Andrew?
So just, if you approve, say nothing, and you oppose, speak up, or in the chat. Okay, all good.
Seeing none, motion carries, and I will bring them back in. All right, so Miranda's joining us and Andrea's grabbing Sean to join us back again.
Look, I've messed it up a few times. So be yourself back. All right, so we are all back, and that is our funding recommendations are complete. Okay.
Correct.
So the next item on the agenda is our next meeting. So the deadline for applications to reappointment is closed. We will see how council wishes the new cultural vitality to be reconstituted. I hope to see you all again. If you are retiring, then I encourage you to still be involved in other ways, or if you are not reappointed, likewise, still be involved. There's all sorts of opportunities, and certainly we all know from our experience from the last 2 years that there's lots of work to do. So all of your contributions are deeply valued, and I'm very appreciative for the last 2 years that we've all spent together. I guess, so our next meeting will be, or the Cultural Vitality Committee's next meeting will be sometime in January.
January, so my understanding is the report or the recommendations go to council January 9th for all the boards and committees of council. So it'll probably be either late January or February that we'll have the first meeting, because there is an orientation phase as well. So yeah, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate, this is a very busy committee, and I appreciate everybody's hard work, time and efforts. And, you know, it really does help us out, and we do value all your opinions and feedback. And yeah, thank you so much for everything. And I hope everybody has a happy holiday.
Yes.
Happy
So-
holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Before you leave, we need a motion to
Yes.
adjourn.
I move.
Moved by Larry, seconded by Miranda. All those in favor, please remain silent. Anybody abstaining or opposed, indicate so in the chat, or open your mic to express your intent. Unanimous. Have a great holiday, everybody.
you
Bye,
too.
Hi,
thank
thanks
you.
to you.
Goodbye.
Happy holidays.
Holidays.